our guys are going home today, and I'm excited for them to go spend some family time, and just want to wish you guys all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday season. There's a lot of COVID going around and all that, but spend time with your families. Encourage our guys to do the same, and we appreciate everything you guys do for Pitt football. I appreciate you guys being here every day, and again, I apologize for being a little bit late. I totally forgot. EJ should have interrupted me. I was in a meeting with a player, and we've had great week of practice. We practiced on Saturday, practiced Monday, Tuesday, and obviously today. Pretty much got a full weekend. I would say 85% of the game plan is in at this point. Kids have been locked in like they always are, and I appreciate their focus, and they're excited to get down to Atlanta. So they'll spend a few days, and then Christmas afternoon we will all meet. I think we got 49 players leaving from here on a plane, and everybody else, if they're from Atlanta or from Florida or Utah or Kansas City, will fly in on Christmas afternoon, and we'll meet in Atlanta and continue bowl preparations down there. So, questions?
Are you worried about guys spreading out like that and then coming back?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly worry about it. We've tried to educate them about wearing their masks and taking care of themselves, and going home to see their families and not going home to see their buddies. Don't be running around seeing your old high school buddies. You don't know where they've been, so go home. And really, we've been on it for the last week here to protect your family on the way home. There's no sense in hanging out in Oakland and running home and getting your family sick. So you worry about all that. I know Saban sent his guys home as well for 6 days, and they were in COVID protocols like we were. Championship week, we were in COVID protocols here, which is flu, cold, whatever goes through your building. You're always going to try to protect the team, and we did that week. I know they did that, but then you send them home for 6 days. Really, what does that do? So we got to trust our guys to go home, be smart, come to Atlanta as safe as possible. So those are all things that are touch and go at this point, especially with where that new variant's going.
Will there be testing before the game?
We're all vaccinated.
Right.
I should say we're all 99%, whatever that summary. I haven't even talked about the percentage. So, we're not going to test, unless they have symptoms for it. And then we test. So only the guys that get tested are the guys that are unvaccinated.
You mentioned that the game plan is in, or mostly in. Decided on an interim play caller for the game.
You know what? I may have, right in here decided. We, continued. We got, 4 coaches on offense that are, they're ready and willing to give that game plan. They all do their jobs during the week anyway. So, I'm not going to share that with you right now. I guess we'll share it when we get down to Atlanta. I'm just going to keep that in my back pocket, Jerry. You know what I'm saying?
I'll remember to ask you.
Well, I'll get you that information when we get down there for sure.
Gotcha.
We haven't talked to you since it's been official. Just thoughts. I know you've mentioned Kenny, but on his and Damari's decision and having Nick at quarterback, your confidence with Nick.
Yeah, obviously we're happy, for Kenny. And Kenny came to my office. Gosh, the days are running together. It might have been Monday. Sat down for about a half hour and just had the biggest smile on his face. I hadn't seen him that relieved. I think he just was like, deep breath. I think it was a hard decision for him. He loves Pittsburgh. I think he wanted to play in the worst way, but it was a business decision, and couldn't be, happier for him. And like I said, there was a sense of relief, smiles, giggling, which he doesn't do all year. He's not a giggly guy. He is locked in, and he's like a coach. It's like business, and that's how he handles his business every day. When he sits right there in that front seat right there, I think he's just relieving. And Damari Mathis, got to make a business decision, and felt like, just talking to his people and his family that he had done enough. And again, we wish him the best of luck. Damari's going to be a fantastic player. He's going to test out crazy. I wish he would have waited I wish he would have told me when he was going to send it out. I knew his intentions, but I didn't know it went out, and I wasn't prepared to do a statement. So my statement on Damari is we're happy for him. He's a heck of a football player. He's going to play in the National Football League. When I compare him to some other corners I've had, he's tough and reliable, and like I said, he's going to run fast. He's going to jump, through the ceiling. So he's going to test well, and he's going down to Mobile. I think that was one of his goals, and he'll be able to show off down there, and I'm sure he'll be going to the combine in Indianapolis as well. So 2 terrific kids that deserve those opportunities. And then Nick Patti, just to finish, Nick is a guy that this entire room trusts. He's a good football player. He can throw the ball. I think in his one other start, he threw the ball over 40 times. So he's a guy that can throw the ball. And, we're excited to see what Nick it's his time in this game to show everybody, show the Panther Nation who he is. And he is locked in. During finals week, he's out there throwing the ball in the indoor with all the receivers, because we weren't having organized practice. So he is a leader. And, again, our kids trust him, and we're excited for Nick.
Is there anyone else who's not playing in this game because of the NFL or COVID or whatever?
Not that I know, unless things change in the next, few days. I mean, everybody else is ready to go.
What's it been like not having Kenny in the room preparing going into this game? You guys all season long, he's been a leader. He's been a guy that's been a voice that you could count on to be a leader.
Our kids have been like this, Chris, all year long. They kind of like, it's the next man up. It's like, I don't think our guys blinked in here. It wasn't like, I think they all expected it. I think they kind of knew. I think they knew before I knew. I think they go out at night in Oakland and have their fun. And I think after the Heisman, I think we had 15, 20 players that traveled up to New Jersey or to New York City and hung out with him. So I think they knew before I did, because I think Kenny was a little like, like, it's like almost like he didn't want to tell Dad, And that's what you love about him. He's passionate. So our kids didn't blink in here. They know we'll miss Kenny, but it's eventually, we were going to miss him anyway after that game. So there's a post Kenny, that we're going to be in. There's going to be a post. Every one of these seniors that sits in the front row is a post. And I know you guys got the information on our linemen coming back, which I wasn't in here. I wish I had sat in the back and watched, but I think that would probably have been fun to see. But I'm sure EJ maybe send me some video.
Sure.
We're happy those guys are coming back too.
At any point this season, have you let yourself think about what the team would have been like if Kenny didn't come back, and are you eager to see what it'll be like without Kenny?
Yeah, I think you're always eager. I never looked and said what would have been like if he wasn't here, because he was here. But you always say, what's it going to be like when Kenny's gone? Okay, and I think you say, hey, what's Pitt defense going to look like when all those guys leave? And we saw that life will move on and we'll be okay. And again, I think we've done a great job recruiting, and we're going to continue to recruit guys to fill those positions. And the hardest thing is the roster management with what we're dealing with numbers-wise. And I was on an ACC subcommittee call yesterday with a few head coaches and some ADs and obviously Commissioner Phillips, and just, I won't mention any names, but just coaches still going, like, how am I doing this? I don't know what I'm doing, because we've never done this before. This is a whole new ball game. And, you worry about being at 85. I can't go into Heather's office and say, hey, by the way, Heather, we kind of oversigned. We're at 87. She's going to look at me, like, you can't do that. Like, what are you doing? So those are, it's not fun. And you got to make tough and difficult decisions.
How crucial is it, though, to get Carter and Gabe and those guys, Marcus, to stick around and block for whoever's going to be a quarterback next year?
It's big. That's big. As big as they are, that's how big it is. You put all that, how many pounds did they all stand right here? That's a lot of beef right there. So, was that old Wendy's commercial, where's the beef? The beef was right here in front of you guys. That's a big thing. And those guys made that decision. That was not twisting arms. I'm not a guy, these kids got to make decisions. I'm not going to be the one, but they made business decisions. They took their time, and they were ready to do that today. So I'm happy for them. And obviously our team is happy for them.
Last night you guys announced that Keaton Slovis will be joining the program. How did that come together?
It's a process like anything else. Just kind of almost, we knew we didn't take a freshman quarterback, that we were going to take a transfer, and we were looking for the best available. And we hunted and we searched, and we had some good guys in the buckets, and we were able to land, our number one guy that we wanted in Keaton. So we're excited to have him. He'll be here in January, and just again, you can watch the tape all you want. Like the type of person he is, he'll fit in our building, he'll fit in our room, and that's the most important thing.
What do you
feel
like
like
about it?
Kenny's success allowed you to be able to go out there and get the top guy that you had available?
Yeah, I think Kenny's success, for sure. Okay, I think O-line coming back, which he knew before you knew, unless you guys heard rumors. I think there's a guy named Jordan Addison out there, number 3. I think that was a factor, and Jared Wayne and Gavin Bartholomew. You look at the defense coming back. I think all those play into it. It's not just again, it's about the team, okay? It's not about one guy, and the team is the most important thing, and all those pieces are important. So I think that helps.
What did you like about him on field? You mentioned the intangibles were slow. Is what you like on field?
I mean, he's obviously played at a high level. He has got a great arm. He's got great pocket presence, and again, I think he's a leader, and I think we can get even more out of him. I think there's some things he was looking for that he found here, besides personnel, which I won't get into. But I think, he's looking for more too, and more development, and I think that's something we can give him.
When you've brought in transfer quarterbacks before. When you go through that process, how do you, I don't know, either address it or communicate with the guys who are on the roster now that you're bringing in? You're bringing in this new guy to compete with them. I mean, do you communicate with them through it?
You do, to a point, but we have to do what we have to do as far as putting guys in these seats to fill it up to make this room, this team, the best it can be. And there's decisions. I mean, it's no different than bringing a freshman in. Who knew Gavin Bartholomew would come in here and do what he did? People. So I don't care if it's a freshman, a senior, junior. I mean, there's competition. I think the competition brings out the best in everybody in this room, and whether it's a freshman, a sophomore, or junior, it doesn't matter. We all get better when we got better personnel in here. If there's nobody to push you, nobody gets better, and I think that's the key.
Are you expecting there to be competition for that job in the spring?
There's competition every single position, period, from the O-line to the DBs. I mean, to kickers. There's competition always.
It's been a year and a week since Kenny announced last year that he was coming back, and you see the impact that he had on this season. Do you think that has a sort of residual effect when you see your entire offensive line saying, "Hey, we're coming back too," and then you talked about the family environment that you guys have?
No question about it. I mean, I think it's our culture here. I mean, you look at Carter Warren, gets a Senior Bowl invite and comes back just like Kenny did. I mean, like, our kids are smart, well educated here at Pitt, and they listen and talk to their families and make smart decisions. And those are all the culture we have here is built, and to me, that's the biggest thing I'm proud of is the culture we have. You can take wins, guys. If I don't get to come in here and address this football team from the front and happy every day, then we got issues.
Do you expect to keep looking into the portal for more guys, or do you think you're good now?
We'll see. I mean, we're going to see how things go. Just get scared numbers-wise, but we're going to continue to make this room better. It's my job. My job.
Will Kenny wear a headset at the Peach Bowl?
Yeah. How do you guys know that?
Because he told Chris.
Oh, he'll wear a headset. He can't talk, but he's got a headset on for sure.
What do you mean he can't talk to you or to
He
quarterbacks?
can't talk to. Yeah, he can't talk to him. There's listening devices, and then there's headsets. So one has a mic that you can talk. He's not able to talk on the headset to anybody else. So, but he'll communicate otherwise. Like, hey Jerry, tell him I saw this.
I got you.
Okay, but those are the rules.
You like the fact that he wants to hang around the team even though he's not playing?
Of course. I mean, that guy's a Panther forever. Okay, and he's gonna be around for as long as he wants to be. So I know there's a point where he's gonna get shipped off to play for some NFL team. We hope it's close, but we hope it's fitting for him.
Pat, does the offense change much with Nick?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't change much at all. I mean, we do what we do. We're going to continue to, we got a Blitnikoff guy out there. We're going to get him the ball, and it doesn't change much. Like I said, you can't put in a whole. We're not going to go out there and run option. I mean, we're not going to go out and do that. We know what we're doing, and that's why practice is so smooth this week. I mean, it's like as smooth as it could be. It might even be smoother. How about that? And it probably is smoother than it was before.
Pat, the timing of Keaton's transfer. I mean, this is a big moment for Nick. He's been waiting a long time. He's put in some time. He's made an appearance here or there.
Right.
Do you worry? I mean, is this a chance for him to kind of get that first foot in towards 2022?
It really is. I mean, this is it's a great opportunity for him, and I don't want him to stress about that either. He just needs to go out and play. He's been as locked in as anybody. That guy has learned. I go back to Jimmy Morrissey and Owen Drexel, and I look at Kenny Pickett and Nick Patti. He's prepared for this moment for a long time, and I got a lot of faith in him.
You talked about Harlan Barnett, those guys knowing your defense. Is changes that you might make, is that like oh, we're going to do something we don't normally do, or is it more just maybe like disguises, signals, things like that? And then not having Walker, do you expect them to be what they've usually been, or very different?
Yeah, great question. Obviously signals change. We got to change that. Harlan was up in the box with me, but Ron Burton's a signaler. But we've changed a lot of our signals since we left, but we're still going to change them up for whatever reason, because our guys are good at changing up signals. So we've done really 3 different types of signals this year as well as it's gone through it. We went down to Duke and we had to change some things up there. So we've got different, we got A, B, and C. Hey, what signal package are we going with? We got longer time to go with it and work our signals and get our kids to understand it. And it's not only the signals, but it's also the communication on the field, where we'll use different words for different things that we need to make sure that they aren't hearing the same thing over and over, or something they heard in the past, or something that somebody told them that we use. So we've got ways of switching that up. But it's like I text Harlan jokingly yesterday, hey, how many times are you going to run this double A gap blitz? And he texted me, I was going to ask you the same thing. So it's just, it's fun. And, we're going to do what we do on offense or defense, and they're going to do what they do. But I would imagine they're maybe throw it a little bit more. Thorne's a good quarterback. They got 2 great receivers. 1 receiver's back. Reed's outstanding, and he's got some targets out there. And we're down a corner, so to me, important thing is what do we practice? How much of the run, the pass do you practice? And so we'll see.
Nick is starting. Is there a plan to use any other quarterbacks during the game?
We'll just see how the weeks of practice go. We'll see how the week of practice goes. Right now, Nick is the guy, and he deserves to be the guy.
You're focused on the game, but do you have a timeline on the coordinator hire?
Yeah, I'll work on that. I guess the 31st, New Year's Eve day, I guess, whatever it is. That'll be afterwards. I'm a guy. I'm not smart enough to do all these different things and do them all well. Like, I need to focus on this and do this, and just keep it all in there. If you try to be the jack of all, you be the master of none. I want to focus on this game. Focus on recruiting. Then we go into game week mode. We'll just focus it and try to do the best job I can at everything that needs to be done.
Did Douglas' decision to surprise you?
Not really.
Any embellishment on that?
Not really.
MJ for Mari?
I would say, I'm trying to think here. They've all played all year. Damari didn't play the second half of the championship game, and we did pretty good. But the combination of Marquez Williams and AJ and MJ, that'll be the top 3 at this point. And they're all, to me, I feel like those guys are all stars. We trust them all. We don't have just 2.
You get to see from a global perspective how the players responded, but you talked about how it's more than the 24-hour rule after the ACC championship game. How did you see your teams to sort of, not necessarily coming back, but just the taking in of it and how they handled being champions and accomplishing the goal?
Yeah, I hope they're over it. There's something to getting that 12th win, which we know the 76 team is the only team to ever get 12. To me, they've set the mark. This senior class, these captains, this football team have set the mark, with 11, and I think they want more. I think they're hungry. I think it's something they just keep wanting. Just like that's not enough. Let's keep going. I think. That's the attitude I sense in this room. So I don't think there'll be any hangover from that victory.
Any chance of getting Mac, Marlon, or Cradle back?
Still hoping. We'll see. After a couple of days, waiting on some X-rays.
Okay, Coach. Thank you very much.